4, is your data collection compliant and effective? Here we've talked about ensure that you tell people in easy to understand plain language about lawful basis, and test your opt-in messages. That's one key thing. It's about finding an opt-in message that works, and that you've got all the things there. And what we've done here is looked at a typical opt-in message. So I didn't get Steve to check through the final one, but I'm hoping that he's going to not pick me up on anything here. And you know, this is a typical one, but other organisations, if they're much more B2C, would find that they have to include all sorts of other things here. So receive case studies, news, hints and tips from experts, and you can pick from there the things that are going to work for you from your SEO messaging and what's coming through as your popular terms from that. And occasional spend with our quarterly, so give them a time that you are going to be, is it going to be frequent, is it going to be infrequent? Use as much information on that to pull through as you can. And try and link to a sample of what it is you're going to be sending to them. So if it's an e-news or if it's just bullets, if it's just information about new things coming up. I think what will happen is that the sector will get a lot more rationalised on the messaging that they're sending to get it on a regular basis and group it together. Please send me information about services and new products. And you have to put new, you can't say existing products, because if they've said and opted out, you can't re-contact them again. From holding company, so whatever your company name is. So for example, from Marks and Spencer's, you could do M&S Food, you could do M&S Clothing, but you can't do M&S Money, because there's a whole list of other issues about the mixing data between the two. And then granularity by fax, by email, by telephone, and then a call to action there, okay? These are the next bullet points are the sections that you need to cover to say about we don't sell your data or pass it to third parties, about how you're processing it. We promise to keep your details safe and secure, although Steve's probably going to pull me up on that and say, you know, you've made a promise, have you actually done it? And that means that you're open to the fact that you've actually promised but then not actually delivered it. But I think it's again about being open and honest. Do you agree with that, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at this as what we're talking about, when we talk about the soft opt-in and the privacy regs, you can send new products that people would expect to hear about, but you can't introduce them to a lot of others that they wouldn't. So where Optical Express went with this was when they flogged the database onto Thomas Cook, and people who did laser eye surgery started getting spam from Thomas Cook, and they weren't expecting that. And again, in terms of how this is a living document, and as long as people have an ability to get in touch with you and are rooted back, as the other guys were talking about, to a privacy policy that is in clear English, that makes sense, and that say what you're going to do with it, and that's about the best you can be doing.
Okay. I mean, then you've got to say, here's a link to our privacy statement, because the meat and bones of what you're doing with their data and everything is in your privacy statement, which should be on your website. So there'll be a little bit more TLC required to develop your privacy statement in line with GDPR. And I think we're still looking for quite a bit of guidance through from that. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd go as far as to say I would never ask for an opt-in unless I had, you know, if you'd like further information, here's our
Click
privacy
here.
statement.
Yeah.
So that, you know, it's highlighted in a different colour, so they've got every opportunity to look at it before they make a decision. And
I think certainly with you, David, it's about you will gather the information and then you're the data controller, but you're not the processor. The processor is somebody that might be handling third-party data and actually fulfilling the mailing, fulfilling the emails and everything. You know, MailChimp's a third-party provider, so you have to have cast iron contracts between the two and focused on that. It's no longer any good now. And I'll mention that later. You know, you need to know where MailChimp's servers are.
The whole journey that your data follows.
You have to map it. Yeah.
And so you need to make sure that every part of it, from the collection to the storage to the selection to the distribution, is all following the same set of rules.
Yeah.
So that statement covers everything.
Okay.